Hey, how you doing, guys? So I'm just going to do an analysis on AUDJPY. We've got the daily chart here. Obviously, we've got some clear downtrend movement here. This is a linear regression channel, and you may have seen from an earlier video that I done last week. It's a very similar setup to that, and the premise for the trade hasn't really changed. What I was looking at, I think it was about here, was it was the same idea. Basically, the price has moved within this channel. It's come up to the upper edge. It's finding resistance there, and for that reason, it's giving some pretty good value for money in that it's overbought. One way of thinking of it is overbought when it's interacting with these upper channels, this upper resistance channel. So we've had a toppy type of candle here, and the price in today's candle is about to just move past the low of it. So the premise for us shorting this is good based on the daily, but the daily alone isn't enough, in my opinion, to take a trade. It's about having some correlation between what the other time frames are saying. So I'm just going to drop to the 4-hourly, and we can see it's a similar story. Obviously, we've got the same channel that the price was moving within. The resistance is a bit more apparent here in that if we put a horizontal let's find a horizontal line here. So the resistance that it's finding here, you can see it's reversed off of what these previous, this is kind of a zone. It's not a specific actual level, but it's more of a zone of resistance where these previous highs, the price have moved away from. It's come up, it's hit that edge there. And what's interesting about this is the way that it's coincided with it also interacting with our linear regression channel. So we've got two, it's not the best color that I've chosen there for this horizontal line, but you should get the idea. I'm just going to delete that. So you can see that the price interacting here with the upper resistance of the linear regression and the previous resistance here gives us some inclination that the price could kind of move back towards the mean, come back towards the center, like an elastic band. So when you pull an elastic band and you let go, it has a tendency to come back to its original state. Price is very similar in that it has a tendency to come back to an average. So what I'm looking for in this instance is that the price will move to these kinds of levels, protective stop above these highs, or if you're super conservative, these highs would still give a pretty decent reward to risk in terms of the price moving to this type of level or even this type of level. If it were to move to the lower edge of the channel, that would be considerably oversold, in my opinion. And again, that analogy of the elastic band, it would have a tendency to move back to the mean. Doesn't mean it's going to fully reverse, but it would have a tendency to move back to that area. So that would be a good time either here or here in terms of taking some money off the table or exiting the trade completely. Just for thoroughness, just have a look on the lower time frame. So that was the 4-hourly he was looking at, but obviously it's going to be a similar thing on the lower time frames, just a bit more granular. Same concept here. It's interacted on the hourly with the previous resistance there. We can see it started to move down, starting to make, we zoom in, lower highs as well. Obviously in a downtrend, we're looking for lower highs and lower lows. So it's kind of verging on that. It hasn't really started to be apparent in the 1 hour, those lower lows and lower highs, but possibly on the 15 minute here, it is starting to flatten out. If I zoom in here, you can see it's finding a lot of support here, but I'm on the 15 minute, but I'm not too worried about that based on the analysis done on the higher time frames. I'm anticipating a break of that support. So it's what's helped with that decision. Maybe zoom in a bit more so that's clearer to see. There has been some lower volatility today on this, presumably because of the bank holiday that we've had on the Monday. But you can see it's consolidated slightly, but I'm anticipating a break through those lows. If it does move higher past those previous lower highs I was talking about, then that's where the protective stop is, and I'm going to get out of the market anyway, so it's wrong on that analysis. hopefully that is of some use to you guys. Just a quick recap, just based on the daily. On the daily, we're seeing this downward movement, and it's currently overbought and anticipating a reversion to the mean. So yeah, that's it. Any questions on that? Let me know. If you like it, give it a thumbs up.